P-8A Poseidons made a suspicious move a day before the explosion in the region. Is there a link to the explosion? Look at this. Look at these weird patterns that they were doing. This, again, was right where it's at. This is Beirut. If you don't want to be traced, you can actually get the EDEX bags, which will actually block every kind of signal from going in or out of your phone. So you put in one of these guys, and you'll be untraceable. Again, that's marfooglenews.com/EDEC. Go check it out. It helps us. It helps you. Boom. It's a win-win. Dex, can we bring in our first caller?
Yeah, Adam. First up, we have Rip Curl. Rip Curl, you are live on Marfoogle News.
Rip Curl, what is going on? We've heard a lot. You've been getting a lot of information lately. That is what the chatter is.
Yeah, well, and your title to your show today is perfect as far as what's next for 2020. I think that says it perfectly, and especially with the with the fires that we have breaking out even after yesterday's event. I think we're seeing what I would consider an unconventional WAR. And if you think about it, if we are going for an NWO type of thing, and that's what's happening here, that's exactly what would roll out. It's not going to be like anything we've ever seen before, and it's going to seem really strange. To go with what you were thinking with, say, a torpedo type launch situation, here's an interesting thing just for people to think about. And I gave Dex a screenshot of this, but I follow the P-8s that fly around, because where the P-8s are flying usually says where the action is or what they're looking for. Well, the day before, 3 USN, United States Navy P-8s, flew in right off the coast of Beirut in Lebanon and did circles and patterns. One of them peeled off towards, let's call it Beirut, and the other one, the Lebanon. The other two went upwards, and they just sat there and ran circles and circles and circles. And then after the event, they all took off and left and went right back the direction they came. So the thing about a P-8 is it is made to track submarines. So were we following our own submarines? Were we following somebody else's submarines? Did we know that this was going on? But it also has the capability of launching ordnance in the way of torpedoes and other type of ordinances, like I talked about earlier, maybe. And if you look at that blast site, that's one thing I was going over with Dex is it's right next to the water, and it's very, very, very deep. And the other thing that was interesting is, and I don't know if you had that photo of the P-8s that were flying, but the other photo that had come up was an interesting photo showing the blast zone. And of course, we're talking about the grain silos that were taken out. And that's an interesting thing. If you have these fires and explosions everywhere trying to take out, say, ammunition, supplies, food, all the kind of things that we all need that would cause fear and hinder our abilities for places to fight a war, if it's everywhere and they're trying to take over as one, this is what I would think that I would see. Now, what was interesting about that picture of the grain silos is spray painted right on the concrete barrier from where the picture was taken. Now, keep in mind, we're not in the U.S., but in English it said goodbye. Yet it was a picture of the blast zone and what was left of the grain silos.
That is creepy.
That right there. Yeah. And that's what I thought too. So, I don't know. Those are the kind of things that I look for and try to kind of say, well, this is odd. This is odd. is this something we have our hands in? Is this something we knew about and tried to stop? But
just so everybody's on the same page, Rip Curl, this first one shows that Intel Sky found 3 U.S. Navy, United States Navy Boeing P-8A Poseidons made a suspicious move a day before the explosion in the region. Is there a link to the explosion? Look at this. Look at these weird patterns that they were doing. This, again, was right where it's at. This is Beirut. Look at this. They were looping back and around and through.
To remind everybody...
Remember what I first said, a submarine.
These are the same kind of... And to remind everybody, in all the other events we've had happen in the past, not all of them, but in quite a few, we've had these odd P-8 Poseidons flying around up above in the same kind of patterns, even during the fires in California and other events that have happened. And what I found was interesting is it also shows a P-3, but it doesn't say it's USN. So I didn't bring that up, but that's the older model of what they had before the P-8. Just an interesting side note.
Right here. This is so. This is there was a P-8 Poseidon and a P-3. Both of these guys going right outside Beirut the day before. Look at these weird flight patterns, going in circles, doing this, doing figure eights, right in the zone. This is Beirut, the capital, and these are U.S. These aren't Lebanon Navy. Think about this, folks. To me, it made a lot of sense that a submarine would, the new technology, I've seen it. They literally, if you've ever seen a movie of a torpedo going through the water, now they can literally go up above and fly. It's awesome. If you see the cool technology they have now, they can fly 8 feet above the ground, go right past you. If you were walking on the street, you would just hear a whistle. You wouldn't even see this thing. It's huge, but it would go so fast. It would go. This almost makes me push more towards that. This was somebody in a submarine that did it. It seems too. It seems too weird. I'm sorry. I don't know. A lot of people are going with the official narrative. I get that there's red. The whole thing is red, though. There could very well be, sodium nitrate or aluminum nitrate or whatever it is mixed in there. But I think it was set off by something. That's my personal opinion. So.
Yeah, I think so too, for that kind of blast wave. But I just wanted to point that out to everybody. And I do think it's odd too that it says goodbye on that pillar. I mean, that's really weird.
In English. This is Beirut, folks.
In English. Right.
Look at that. That is just freaky.
So.
Well, thank you for sharing this, Rip Curl. Thank you for calling in, and thank you for always being a breath of knowledge here. Again, this just absolutely, just look at that. I mean, look at it. Just look at it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Rip Curl.
Well, much love to the family. Everybody keep preparing and stay safe and be alert.
All right, you have a great night. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out. Let's get Clint. Clint, are you there? And do you have some information about the P3s, or you just know about them, or?
Honestly, Marf, I was hi Foogle fam. Thanks, Dex, and how you doing, Adam?
What's going on, Clint?
I was building a garden with my family. Been a long-time listener, first-time caller. And we were building a garden out of my folks' house, and we kept noticing the P3, the 4-prop plane just doing concentric circles around Yakima. And from the center of town, they would get further out into the country. And then the next week they did the same thing. And then the next week they had the P8s, and I'm gonna naturally go look it up. So I find out that they're doing these training missions to go to the Middle East, and those planes, the interesting thing, they're not just sub hunters, they're radiation detectors. They're looking for nukes, basically. That's what they're looking for. the subs, that's what they run on. So that's what they're looking for. And they've been training those crews to go from the P3s to the P8s. And we haven't seen them in a couple of weeks. And lo and behold, your guy showed us that they're over there doing Brodies in the ocean right next to Beirut. So I thought that was pretty interesting that they were over here in Yakima. And I've got it on my Instagram. I was like, why are these guys flying circles in the desert? Why is the Navy flying circles in the desert? And it now makes perfect sense.
So why would they fly in circles? And then did they drop something, or were they? I'm sort of and
no, they were flying in circles on the. They were just training, and then if they're flying in circles over in B-Town, before that big boom, it kind of makes sense that if they're training to fly in circles here, and then your guys got them on the flight radar over there flying in circles, makes sense to me. I'm not saying it's not a reach, but I'm just saying it's very interesting that the Navy came to Yakima, Washington to fly circles in the desert, and then this happens right after they stopped flying circles in the desert.
How many days ago was that?
I'm not making a claim. I'm just saying. Say it again. How
many days ago was that? Do you know that they were in Yakima?
Since they've been here, about 2 weeks, but they were here every week for a month.
Oh, weird. That is super weird.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
So I'm guessing, and somebody.
I was out there building the garden. Go ahead.
Well, I'm guessing somebody is going to call in eventually and say, hey, I used to fly one, or I used to be in one, and the circle is part of, I'm guessing that is how they actually do their sweeps, right? What were they sweeping for? Were they sweeping
that makes sense too.
It's logical, right? And maybe they're practicing over there, then they're called out to do a real mission over in Beirut. Hey, we think we've got submarines. They do a couple rounds. They use the P3 and the P8. Don't see anything. The next day, boom. I don't know. It seems super fishy.
Interesting either way.
It's very fishy. The sub hunters were flying right in Beirut. All right. Well, thank you so much, Clint Stone's World. You can find his link on our website when Dex gets it on there. It should be updated in the next 5 minutes. Thank you so much for calling. You have a great night. If you guys don't know already, everybody in our Foogle family should be talking about this right now. Everybody should be protecting themselves against this. This we have partnered with so it can help our show, give you guys a discount at the same time. EMP Shield can actually protect against all 3 phases of an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse, or a coronal mass ejection. This is the same company that was in the Department of Homeland Security's EMP resilience report to the president. It is that same resilience report that told us that we need 6 months to a year of food and water, just in case we have a blackout situation. Again, this is the same company that has done work for DOD, DHS, and now is on the DEMSO team, effectively helping the Texas grid protect itself. So you can get the same kind of protection from them directly. Again, it is at a huge discount from you if you get it through us. Again, I think this is going to go through the back of people's heads, and they're going to finally say, this could very well save thousands and thousands, if not millions of lives if we didn't have this everywhere. Again, you can protect your solar system, you can protect your generator, your vehicle, your home. Think about it. If your car doesn't go anywhere, how are you going to get to that bug out spot you spent all the money to get?
Feed the haters to the alligators. Your way or the highway, see you later. DOD is the homie and Mr. Vader. If it wasn't for you, I would never made it. Whole city's covered by the cremated. Now they listen to what we were saying. Doesn't matter if the manufacturer or created. Put now, put later.